Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, unique video. This is not your normal draft day video. This is not what it's like to be drafted video. This is a unique perspective. This is what is draft day like when you're already in the league. It's a little bit more complicated than what you might think. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the QB School. All right, so you're in the league. Congratulations. You are a veteran. You're coming back for more, trying to get paid. Now, all of a sudden, every year, there's this new crop of employees that might be better than you that your team or your employer is looking to get to replace you. Now, there is a handful of different tiers here on how you can experience draft day, and I can only speak anecdotally from my own experience. I'm sure if you're a franchise player, you're watching the draft, seeing how they can put pieces around you to make the franchise better, to make your side of the ball better, to, see where the weak spots are in the organization. But for the vast majority of guys in the league, and this is speaking from just friends, communication, what it's like on draft day, texting back and forth with friends and teammates, they are basically watching to see if they're going to replace you, is the nicest way I can put it. If they're drafting someone in the first round at your position group, they are trying to replace you. And it's a public display of that. Now, I understand if you play offensive line and they draft an offensive lineman, there's 5 of them. Well, they're basically saying that unit was not good enough and it needs to improve significantly. Now, coaches will tell you all the time that every unit needs to improve significantly. But the reality is there is a public forum where they are trying to replace you. And so for me, it was always, are they going to draft my position in the first round? Because immediately that person is probably going to play. If not, the first couple rounds, they expect that person to be on the roster. If they draft a wide receiver in the 3rd round and you play wide receiver, that's not great news because now that person took up a spot that you probably were counting on if you're on the back end of that roster. And so that's the reality of it. It's not, great, we got another teammate. It's this weird kind of annual process where you are just hoping they don't draft someone in your position group early in the draft because that person's going to be on the team. That's the reality of it. Now, as you get deeper and deeper into the draft, 4th round, they're probably going to be on the team. 5th round, you got to be pretty bad in camp to not be on the team. 6th round, now it's a little harder. 7th round, harder still. But if they're drafting you, they're going to give you every opportunity to be successful. What I mean by that is the general manager, the personnel, the coaches, someone in that organization believes in you enough for them to have your name tethered to them. They want you to be successful, as opposed to if you were on the roster and there's been a turnover on the staff, personnel department, GM, all those things where who you're tethered to, with what your future looks like can change like that. And I've been on teams where they've drafted someone in the 1st round, been on teams where they've drafted someone on the 2nd round, mid-round pick, and it immediately changed the trajectory of your career. And it's totally out of your hands. So that's always the thing that's interesting for me. It's, draft day, obviously changes your life if you're fortunate enough to get drafted or even to just get an opportunity in the league as a unrestricted free agent. Now you get that opportunity and you think, that was crazy one-time experience. Well, unless you're like a Hall of Fame trajectory type guy, you're essentially on the bubble all the time. And even the Hall of Fame trajectory type guys, you look around the league, they don't always end up where they started. And so you're always fighting and clawing for that roster spot. And the draft day, it's that annual kind of public circus where they're trying to replace you. There's no other way to put it. And so when they draft someone and say you're a cornerback and they draft a cornerback, well, it's a little bit easier because they might keep a handful more DBs. But if you're a tight end, if you're the 2nd tight end on a team and they draft a tight end, well, you're in trouble. You're on notice. And so your reps just got cut. The coach's focus just got cut. Depending on when they drafted this person, all sorts of different things can change in an instant. And so inevitably, I remember being on the Packers when they drafted Aaron Rodgers in the 1st round. If you dig this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get the notifications, let you know when we go live, when we put out new content. I appreciate the support for the channel. Then you should know by now you want to ratchet it up, join, okay? Get a membership. You get a badge after your name. It changes color. It keeps changing color. We've got 3 in circulation right now. I'm going to move up to 6 here eventually. And then you get a chance to come at me in the live stream. All right, with the emojis. Again, I appreciate the support through the memberships. Another cool thing I've heard that YouTube's doing is going to highlight memberships. So any sort of comment, the most kind of engaged content with members is going to jump up to that first comment that you see. So just another way for engagement, another way to support the channel. Again, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's get into the video. And it was, at the time, it was Brett, Craig Nall, and I. And, you know, obviously it was a great draft choice. I mean, I'm not trying to say that it wasn't, but it was pretty unfortunate, I would say selfishly, that he fell to, I think we were like mid-20s, you know, because we had won the division the year before. And so I go from being potentially competing for the 2 to being, you know, maybe a 3rd guy on the roster to now probably off the roster in a day, you know, in really a moment, in a couple hours. And I get it that it was uncomfortable for him to be on camera, and that is true. And I can only imagine what that was like. But it trickle-down effect, and that's for every pick. There's someone's job is on the line when it comes to that. And so for me, the draft day, you know, as much as it is a celebration and as much as it does change the life of so many people that are very well deserving, I think it's also important to maybe empathize with the back end of what this profession looks like. And so just trying to provide as much like real, honest candor when it comes to this type of stuff. Yes, let's celebrate it. Yes, it's something to watch. Yes, I'm excited about it. Get on afterwards with the live stream and talk about it. But at the same time, there's so many consequential kind of dominoes that fall with each one of these picks. Lives are changed on all over the roster. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. A little bit different direction today. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, unique video. What's it like to get... Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, what's draft day like when you're already in the league? Everybody sees the draft videos about but what's it like to be an NFL player on draft day? We're diving into it. Let's get it started. Fuck, that was good, too.